All right, legends, quick update here on the price of Bitcoin. It is the moment of truth for the bulls. Yesterday on the live stream, we were talking about a potential bounce and obviously take out the lows after having that bounce. This is basically what is happening to the price of Bitcoin throughout the last 24 hours, where the price action did form a bounce, as you can see, and now we are taking out the lows. Now, the question is, will the bulls have enough power to get that momentum to the upside throughout today? Because we are entering the weekend, and weekend is very well known for range formation. So we are hitting the point of control of the range of the last few weeks, as you can see here on the chart. We are hitting that point of control. As you can see, this is the first major level of support in this episode. We'll be going through the internal waves right over here, because is there a bearish case scenario? Of course there is, guys, but this is the zone where the bulls need to hold. We had the bounce yesterday. We've taken out the lows. We are starting to hit our first major levels of support, and I want to talk about this structure in today's episode, guys. So we did form this formation. Do we have any other formations that we need to be aware about, okay, apart from the one that we mentioned yesterday, which is the one that is actually bouncing, taking out the lows? Now is the moment to get ready for the bulls, guys, to see if they can manage to pump up the price here from this $83,000 range. Proof of support here is being formed. We are having a lot of overlap, so the bulls do have a very good chance, guys, and I want to explain throughout this episode. Let's dive in right away, of course, with the pure technical analysis. Guys, remember, if you are interested in trading, you do have weeks where you do have a 50% deposit bonus with a $1,000 max cap. Okay, if you deposit at $2,000, you'll be getting $1,000 on top of that in 48 to 72 hours once you do that transfer to your futures account. When you sign up, guys, you are eligible for this bonus right away. You also get 25% fee reduction, guys, and anybody that wants to trade with just an email and a password, Weeks is your place to go, guys. Just an email and a password if you wish to start trading here on Weeks. Okay, so let's take a look here at the price action of Bitcoin. It does look pretty damn good for the moment. We are moving just as we wanted the price to move throughout yesterday's stream. We want to bounce a little bit of a range and then take out the lows one more time, because we could be forming this corrective structure, which is a WXY, as you can see right over here. So by the looks of things, this is definitely a possibility. Now, when we do look at this as a corrective structure, well, what we want to see throughout the next coming days, of course, we're entering the weekend, so weekend can be pretty much very rangy, guys. So we want to be a little bit cautious. If we do get that pump, okay, to pump several $1,000s, we want that to happen today, Friday, before the market closes, right? So scenarios that we're looking at, okay, if you're looking at this as a corrective structure and we're bouncing at the point of control right over here of this entire range of the last 10 to 12 days approximately, then what we want to see is some steam happening here, right? We want to see the price starting to gain some momentum. Now, with this scenario, what we are speculating on is that we are going to form a larger corrective move throughout the next coming days. This is still corrective, despite that we looking to take out 87,400 in the coming days. Okay, it is still part of a correction. Unfortunately, the bullish case scenario is still unlikely unless we get a huge, massive breakout in the coming days above $87,000 and we go to $92,000, $93,000 very impulsively. Then we could be talking about the massive bullish case scenario, which is this one, right? Which you are forming a multiple 1-2 scenario and you're just going to blast off in a third wave. For the moment, we need that proof of blast off. We actually need to hold this range as support to even start thinking about the massive bullish case scenario. Regardless, two of these scenarios actually look to claim $87,500, right? This one right over here, the multiple 1-2 setup, and this WXY, which has not finished the formation just yet, guys. This is what we're speculating on, okay? We do have that proof of support, which is the point of control of this entire range. As you can see here on the chart, we just ever so slightly touched that point of control on the chart, okay? The highest volume node of the last 2 weeks price action. So can we get the bounce from here, as this does look pretty damn corrective, right? There is one bearish case scenario, okay, guys, which I have to say. What if this WXY has finished, right? So we are looking at this to be a WXY, get one more leg to the upside. What if this has finished right over here? Is it possible? It is possible without a doubt. You got a zigzag here, the very complex corrective structure that we've been taking a look at throughout the last few days. But the problem of the WXY finishing right over here is that you have a very one wavy up. This was very much a straight line to the upside. Could you arguably discuss there is a three-wave structure here just because we had that corrective move just on the news event when we had the interest rates, and then this is a three-waver? I don't like it too much. I do see it very one wavy when you do zoom out here on the 15-minute, 30-minute time frame. You know, it does look like a very straight one wave. So this is why we're speculating on the very high probability that another wave to the upside could happen, and we're actually going to see this point of control holding, okay? Could we get a test of the lows again? Could we break down and hit other levels of support? Absolutely yes, guys. There is a possibility, but I'm going to go on the lower time frame because it looks very damn interesting analyzing the waves here, that a bottom formation here locally is very much likely, okay? As we were mentioning throughout yesterday, point of control or the daily level, which we are looking to see proof of support, a reaction, and a possible bounce. And it's very important to go to the local waves on the lower time frame, okay? So we are leaning on the probability that either the point of control or the daily could hold as support here at the $82,700 or $83,200 range where we have this point of control. Okay, so far so good. We're coming down there. We created the two waves that we needed yesterday. The bounce from 83,600, get a bounce here. Okay, rangy bounce, corrective structure, take out the low one more time, and that is when we're interested in the point of control or the daily to see if we're going to get that bounce. Now there is another bearish case scenario, okay? It's bullish here locally where you're looking for a nice bounce of $1,000 maybe to $2,000, but there is another way to look at this corrective structure in a contracting diagonal, and this is leaning on the side that your WXY has finished right over here, guys, which I think is not going to be the case. I am leaning on that next wave to the upside as we were mentioning on yesterday's stream, but there is a way in counting this as a contracting diagonal. Your largest wave yesterday was this big impulsive move down, right? Very aggressive, the highest amount of volume right there on this largest move. So that has to be your wave 3 if it is not part of a corrective structure, which is really what we are leaning on here, that this is a WXY corrective structure. We got the bounce, we got one more leg down, it's time to reverse, and the price does look like it is attempting to reverse from this zone. Let's go with the bearish case. Okay, you do have your wave 1 right over here. You have an ABC flat. As mentioned, this ABC flat, the B wave, has overshot, okay, the 1.618 extension from your A wave, which is very uncommon, okay? So that already decreases the probability in looking at this as a contracting diagonal just because of your ABC flat. But in this case, we're just going to go and cover it because there is a valid count where you have your wave 1, you got your ABC flat, you have your wave 3 here, the largest one, okay, very powerful, lots of volume, your wave 4, very choppy ABC move, and now you've finished your wave 5 with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, right? You can see there's 5 waves ending here after this movement to the downside. Contracting move, very much a possibility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem with this is that if your Y wave has finished all the way up here, that you are going to get a bounce and a rejection. So it is important to see this leg to the upside to start pushing pretty damn aggressively. There's likely going to be a pretty decent correction, guys, here. So what we want to look at is the impulsive move, okay, in a 5-wave move here if possible. and then analyze the corrective structure, okay? If it is going to be corrective or not, or if this is going to be corrective. If we start moving up here in a very, very choppy environment, okay, very three-wavy, there is the danger of this, guys, forming a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contracting diagonal. You form your wave 2 right over here, and then this is it, guys. We are heading down below $81,000 and even lower. So it's extremely important, okay? Most commonly for your wave 2, you would come all the way up to 50% to the golden pocket zone. Potentially the 7/8 Fibonacci is also definitely a scenario, okay, that could happen. So you want to pay attention on how the price comes up there. If we move up like this, boom, and the third wave is just absolutely exploding, getting above 7/8, right? You haven't even formed your fourth wave to form your fifth wave, then it will be looking incredibly good. But if the price action moves very slowly and very choppy here, forming 5 waves here, coming to the golden pocket, okay, you already form a 3-wave structure and you start getting choppiness, you get bearish CVD divergence, you got lower highs and higher highs on the CVD, it's not going to be looking too good. There is that danger, of course, of this being a contracting diagonal, right? Leading diagonal right over here where you have the zigzag then, and then the price just starts rolling down in the next coming days. So far, so good. There is a lot of overlap. So the only proper bearish case scenario is this one right over here. So you are kind of expecting a bounce of $1,000 to $2,000 after forming this structure, right? It's either this one right over here that we were talking about throughout yesterday's stream, would be nice for a bounce, another leg down, and then we're looking for the recovery. So far, the price is getting a little bounce of $1,000, nothing too serious just yet. All right, want to start breaking some lower highs, a bit of structure to be confident that we are getting that reversal. And always be aware of this scenario because this is very much valid, okay? There's a lot of overlap, but this is the only bearish case scenario. The scenario of a multiple 1-2, yeah, already with this flat here, with the B wave overshooting over 1.618 extension from your A wave, not looking too highly likely. Then we have this one, which is the most powerful move. So if this is going to be a 1-2 and this is going to be a 1-2 right over here, your second wave 2 is much larger than your first 1-2, so it already starts to decrease the probability that this is a double 1-2, and your third 1-2 or your third wave is already failing, okay? Very choppy, a lot of overlap here throughout the waves, so it's highly unlikely. The only bearish case scenario that comes to my mind with this price action is this one right over here, that you are looking for a bounce to at least 50% Fibonacci and above. So the bounce here to $85,000 plus does look very, very likely. And if it is going to be strong, guys, then of course we are looking at this scenario right over here. WXY and your Y wave has not finished. This is literally this kind of price action that we are looking at here to get the bounce above $87,500. Let's see if we do manage, guys. It is Friday. We're entering into the weekend. The price action might be a little bit rangy unless we start getting some steam today. Probabilities in the price rolling down from here very aggressively is highly unlikely in my opinion. Could it happen at the end of the day? Well, of course it can, guys. You know, there's nothing guaranteed on the market, but it's looking pretty damn good right now for the bulls to start stepping in and get the reversal, okay? Not much more has to be said on this update, guys. It is either point of control that holds, or it's either the daily level that we talked about. This does look very one-wavy, meaning that we could have another wave to the upside. There is that probability. This looks incredibly corrective. There is a lot of overlap, okay, throughout the waves. The ABC flat here does not look good at all because of your B wave. And you can see here how the third wave did not really continue very aggressively. You have a very poor fifth wave right over here right now. Lots of overlap as well. Does look like that the bearish case scenario could be that contracting move, which you are really expecting a pretty decent bounce now in the next coming hours, okay, with high probability. If we were to roll down from here, we would have to come to the conclusion that we are seeing something else, okay? But for the moment, you know, I don't see anything. The multiple 1-2 scenario is just a highly unlikely scenario in my personal opinion. I mean, this would have to be your third 1-2, literally, right? You got your 1-2 right over here, your second 1-2 over here, and now you have your third 1-2 right over here, which should be topping out, okay? Should be topping out at the 7-8 golden pocket zone at a maximum zone, guys, okay? Maximum level here for this to really top out if this is going to end up extremely bearish, which is 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and you start breaking down today before the end of the day, guys, in that massive third wave. There is that risk eventually, okay? But it's looking pretty okay for the bulls to have an attempt in getting the reversal, okay? There is that danger of, okay, the WXY has finished here, but as mentioned, this does look very one wavy, guys. Very, very one wavy, okay? After this structure, you got a zigzag. You got the very complex corrective structure that we mentioned throughout the last few days on the stream. And this looks very one wavy, right? It would be nice to get another wave up. And then, yeah, we can, arguably discuss that we finished that double zigzag scenario. And then we want that roll over very aggressively, right? Start getting some resistance at 88K. It seems unreal right now as the price has been so bearish throughout the last few weeks that we cannot get to 88K, right? But I can tell you, right, this only comes as surprise, right? I didn't expect that. Well, based on the analysis, it is very, very possible, guys. You might think nobody's buying Bitcoin, everybody's bearish, right? Why would it pump? It's only technical analysis and probabilities, guys, looking at the different scenarios. Not much more, guys. The biggest level of resistance that we do have above 87,500 is the 88K zone, but I think the price could really, shoot up a little bit more than $88,000. But that's where we have our first naked point of control where we could start getting a reaction already, okay? Not much more has to be covered, guys. Stay cautious. The bearish case scenario eventually is still very possible. The only scenario that comes to my mind right now is that multiple 1-2, okay, which is not looking highly likely in my opinion, right? But that would eventually bring a big, massive breakdown, okay, below $81,000, right? You're forming your third wave right over here, and this would be looking pretty catastrophic, right? Followed by multiple 4-5s, finally getting below $80,000. There's always that risk. Probabilities lean on the side of the bulls from now, guys. Of course, we have been bearish since yesterday, but overall, this is a good zone of support. Point of control of the range, daily level, and looking at the waves and the analysis, this does have a very high chance to get a pretty decent bounce. And let's see if there is enough steam throughout today, Friday, to get above 87,500, okay? Let's see if we do get that. Much love to everybody. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.